थारू शरणु आपी दीदू सोनी ने पोकार तारा शरणे लई लीधो प्रभु तारो बार शरणागत ने शांति देजो स्मरण करे परिवार श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम आ दुनिया पंखी नो मेड़ो सौए बेड़ा थाय वारा फरते वारो आवे त्यारे उड़ी जाए शरणागत
to give me the news of Narendra's death. I found it very hard to process and take that in, and I still do. I knew Narendra for a very long time. I first met him in 1975 when he was a young man in London, and the late Bernie Grant and I sat down with him one evening, and we told him he had to be active in anti-racism and active in politics, and he said that wasn't his plan at all. And Bernie said, you have no choice, you have to do that. Bernie had that style about him, and Narendra became extremely active in politics because he hated division, he hated racism, and he hated injustice. But Narendra never did anything for himself. It was always for others. And in the prayer you were reciting earlier, you said the basic tenet of Hinduism is to speak the truth. And that's exactly what Narendra did all his life. He spoke the truth where he saw injustice. He spoke the truth where he saw wrong. And he did something about it. He worked to represent people and to do his very best for them. I didn't realise until very much later that we had a sort of rather strange family connection in that he was born in Malawi and the family moved to what was then southern Rhodesia, later to become Zimbabwe, and some of the family lived in Umtali, now called Mutare, where my late brother also lived, and indeed used to use the same store at Penalonga near the mine there. And it was when Narendra and I discussed the visit I'd made to Zimbabwe, it was a kind of lovely connection we made. And then he came to Britain in order, I suspect, to avoid the racism and the army call-up that would have happened to him in southern Rhodesia, and made his life in Britain, where he made a wonderful contribution to our society and to our community, as indeed have the entirety of the family. He was well known within the Labour Party for wanting to see the Labour Party to be able to represent everybody, that the Labour Party would represent all people. And there was a big campaign for the right of representation of black people in the Labour Party, of self-representation of black people in the Labour Party. And Narendra led the campaign for what were then known as black sections within the Labour Party. And it was my pleasure to work with him and support him on that. That was finally won. And as a result of that, 4 wonderful people became members of Parliament for the Labour Party in 1987. Bernie Grant, Paul Boateng, Keith Vaz, and Diane Abbott, who's here this evening to mourn the passing of Narendra. And in his life, he worked to represent the people that he was elected to represent. He worked to support family and friends. And Seema put it in a beautiful way in one of the messages that we put on this very fast-growing WhatsApp group in his memory, when she said, Narendra fought to get the door open and then held it open that the rest of us could walk through and succeed in life. My memory of him will always be a wonderful, decent, kind man that would always be enthusiastic, always be supportive, and however bad the situation was, he would have some witty remark, usually turn the conversation into cricket or something else, and then we would move on from there, because he was a person that was always thinking of others, and that's how I remember him. Later on, he became the chair of my local hospital, the Whittington Hospital. There never was a kinder or more dedicated person to the delivery of healthcare free for everybody, because that's how he lived his life. The fact that there's so many of us here tonight indicates just what love there was for him. I think he would be surprised there are so many people here. And next Tuesday, I suspect there'll be even more at the memorial that's going to be held for him in Tottenham. He was a decent, wonderful man and a very, very good friend to me over many, many years. We could talk about anything. And because of his own life story, Malawi, Zimbabwe, Britain, because of his own work in councils and membership of Haringey Council, he understood history, he understood processes, and he understood the way in which we have to live our lives, respecting others, not doing it for ourselves, but doing it for others. Narendra did that. He was a thinker, a kind man, and above all, a teacher. And I'm very, very sorry at his passing. And my deepest condolences and respect to all of the community and all of his wonderful family, who he loved so much and would talk about endlessly, particularly over dinner in an Indian restaurant somewhere in Haringey. He was always very happy to do that. So tonight is an amazing occasion to pay thanks to a truly wonderful man and a great friend. Thank you very much.
Now,